Wonderful. So welcome to today's session. And, the topic for today is relevant for almost all of us. There is, there is a constant, now more than ever before, we interact with machines. We interact mostly with machines. Everything that we do, we are either reaching out to the computer or reaching out to the phone. And then some of us who are not so adept at the machines, and we have our children explaining things to us, and they're like, how can you be so stupid? How can you share this with somebody? How can you not keep your password a secret? How can you leave the computer open? How can you do this? How can you do that? Right? And so when you listen to them, and then many of us will say, okay, I don't understand these computers. I'm better off away from them. I don't want to deal with anything. I don't want to deal with any problems. I don't want to get into any problem because of this. And so we are actually going to look at the energy behind what happens. As usual, I will have nothing new to speak today. I never do, but you are here. And so we'll just simply talk about what kind of energies attract some of these issues in our lives, and also all kinds of emotions that we create every time we hear outside or something like this happens to us. Happens all the times, happens just right amongst us, that somebody will suddenly just call and say, oh, I was just doing a transaction and that money went off to a website. I paid the money and nothing ever came from that. Nothing ever came out of that. I didn't receive what I had ordered. My money was stolen. My money was taken away. Those people didn't respond. It was a spurious website. I shouldn't have done this. Okay, all right, we'll talk about experiences later. But even otherwise, even before something happens to us, we constantly keep hearing this in the outside world. The outside world will speak to us and say, okay, you got to be very careful. You go to a bank and they'll say, never share your PIN with you. And the minute you get into an ATM machine, then you got to make sure that nobody is around, nobody is watching. They'll steal your PIN, and so they will steal your money. And something that you have created with so much hard work, so much effort, so much struggle, and it can be taken away from you just like that. And so you are so vigilant, you're always so careful, you're looking at your security, your passwords, and all the other securities. Even your homes, they have 2 or 3 locks. Your expensive jewelry has 5, 6 different lockers in which it wants to go and sit in. And through all of this, through all of the security that we create, through all of these other fears that we hold in, what are we creating every single moment? We for ourselves are creating lack. We for ourselves are creating, we are creating fears, of course, and underneath those fears is also lack. Lack how? Because when we think that, okay, whatever we have made, whatever we have today, whether it's a phone, whether it's, somebody gets hold of my information and they will use it against me. It starts from fear that they will use it against me. They will use it for taking something that belongs to me. And here we go. Whatever belongs to us is what we came with. We actually came with everything that really belongs to us when we came out of our mother's womb. And so when we came out of there, we actually didn't carry any money with us. We didn't carry any clothes, any securities, no stocks, no bonds, nothing. But yes, we did carry a ton of emotion. We already carried our bags of emotions filled in our energy field. We all had our character defined even before we were born or on the day we were born. People could look at us and see if we were a cry baby or a happy baby. And so we did come with all of those emotions. Our energy fields were already with us. And so that is where the real treasure lies. That treasure, are we protecting? Are we putting in under locks? Are we putting them behind lockers? No, we are not. As a matter of fact, that is something that is constantly being transmitted all around us. In unawareness also, we transmit this treasure of ours, our emotions, our energy field. But in awareness, we can do so more. However, we don't protect it behind bars. We don't put it under locks. And we just simply flow with our emotions as they happen. But what is the emotion that we've attached to money? What is the emotion that we've attached to security? We have to protect our home. We have to protect ourselves. The fear underneath being that there are enemies outside. There are enemies outside who are going to harm us if we don't look out for ourselves. By now, everybody who knows me knows where this is going. We have to protect ourselves because the world is our enemy. You can either make that your truth, or you can make this other piece your truth. The other truth being the whole universe is playing in my favor. Will thefts happen to you? They might. Why? Not because you were careless, but because you already came with fears of losing something. And that which manifests already exists in our energy. Yes, maybe we don't get to see it because, after all, we can't see what we carry in our energy till it manifests. Everybody outside a mirror to us has to show us whatever it is that we are holding. And when we see what we are holding, that there are two choices: either to sit deeper in that emotion, create more of that same emotion, or otherwise, if you've become aware, then you will have this other choice being given to you. Change that emotion. Firstly, change that emotion within itself. Outside, something will change later because whatever is inside is the projection outside, not the other way around. So we already know all of this, and therefore, if something outside is happening, if you know all of it, are you that aware that you are no longer so scared of the security breach? Or are you still sitting in a lot of fear? Oh my God, my credit card is lost, my debit card is lost. Will it get manhandled? Will it get misused? Misused, abused, you know, just implying things that belong to you but are being given to somebody else without your knowledge. They're being taken away from you. And that's when you feel sad that no, I made so much of an effort to make this, but I didn't get to enjoy it. Therein shows up the lack. I didn't get to enjoy it. There are so many ways in which we can, lose what we have. So many different ways in which we can lose what we have. And yet we carry the fear of this loss. And so to release the fear of this loss would just be through the energies of abundance. How will you bring abundance? How will you stop caring whether your passwords have been, your passwords have been breached, money has been stolen from your account? What if it's already happened? What if you're already sitting deeper in that experience that no, it happened to me? The universe is not playing to me. There are crooks out there. There are thieves out there. Well, it's a frequency, right? You are sitting in lack, and lack will manifest. As the lack manifests, are you able to see it for what it is? If you are able to see it, only then can you shift that frequency to something else. Otherwise, you will simply just keep sitting. You will keep sitting more and more deeper into that. And now you will have, instead of 3 password checks, you will have 5 password checks. Yeah. Cyber crime is growing everywhere. You will resonate more with all the news about cyber crime that put so much more fear in you. Are you going to choose to live that way? It becomes a choice. It becomes a choice when we are aware. Either we be fearless or we be fearful. To be fearless, the only thought that comes to me when I sometimes sit in fear, and I'll share a story or two that just happened last week, and things that have happened in the past and what my guidances were. But as we talk about being fearless, the only thing that speaks to me in the frequency of abundance is when I need something it will appear. I don't know how and in what form, but if I need something, it will be brought to me. I have that trust in the universe that it will be brought to me. That thought, where is that thought coming from? The thought is coming from the frequency of abundance. But if the thought doesn't come automatically from the frequency of abundance, then what do? I remind myself of this. I remind myself till my frequency shifts. So you can see how circular this is. Your frequency creates all your thoughts. And through the thoughts, you feed in more of the same to that frequency. When you become aware, you're able to break the cycle. So then, when the frequency creates fearful thoughts, you're able to catch it and say, oh, I think I'm operating from fear here. And then the minute you catch it, now you can shift it. So then no longer is this circle happening, thought, feeling, emotion, back to the same thought, same feeling, same emotion, being fed into each other, creating another layer, creating another layer. Somewhere in the middle, you break it, you're feeling fearful, you're able to observe your fear. And through that, now you can remind yourself to be in another frequency, into the other frequency with simple thoughts like this. The universe is on my side. It's playing in my favor. I am taken care of. The more deeper you sit in this I am taken care of, the more you will stop seeing outside. And yet, give me 1 minute. And yet, frequencies are a game of every single day. Every single day, we play through so many different frequencies in so many different ways. Sometimes we catch them, and sometimes they catch us. What will happen if they catch us and we can't get into the awareness? Nothing. There'll just be simply more experiences of that kind. And the minute the experiences intensify, at some point in time or another, you'll be able to catch yourself. How quickly you catch yourself is the speed at which you become the creator, at which you can change your nature of experience. So I'll just give you an example of something that happened last week. We get calls all the time, and sometimes when we get the calls, it automatically 1,000 people have reported that this is a spam call. And so the spam call is happening. Next time the spam call happens and you're looking at your phone and the call is spam, take a look at what you are feeling with respect to this word called spam. Okay, it's a spam. They're going to try and make a fool out of you. They're going to con you, all of that stuff. Is that the thought that is running through you? Then you can understand that immediately that word spam has put you into mistrust frequency, your mistrust frequency, and it's already been activated from this word called spam. A week ago, somebody called me. The word spam didn't show up, but somebody called me and they said, you bought a life insurance policy about 9 years ago. You paid a couple of premiums and then you never did. And so what's the matter? Why didn't you pay your premiums? Now it's going to be 10 years. That policy would have expired next year and would have given you so much money, but you didn't pay the premium. Now, when I was the investment banker, I used to really take a lot of care of all my clients and their financial transactions, and I never really did bother about mine. It never bothered me that I had to buy some tax saving schemes or something. But, as I was in those days, if everybody else was doing something, if somebody was around and they said, okay, why don't you do this? I said, sure, put my money in there. So I'm quite positive that, yeah, I'm quite capable of doing something like this, that buying a scheme and then not bothering to remember. If somebody doesn't remind me, I would have not remembered it and I would have forgotten about it. So I said, yeah, maybe I forgot. I don't know. They said, no, but you already paid, a couple of lakhs and that's a lot of money. And then, you should have taken care of it. I said, okay, now that you're calling me, what is it that you're calling me about? And they said, well, you pay 1 more lakh. And then as you make this payment, then I will be able to give you Next year, I will be able to give you at least a little bit of your money, all your money back, but at least with some kind of interest and some kind of payment, additional payment will be made to you if you pay 1 lakh today. And I said, yeah, sounds like a plan. Okay, I'll make a 1 lakh rupee payment, and I'm looking at it, and no thoughts are happening. I'm flowing with whatever is happening, and I flow. And he asked me for some 15 documents or whatever, and I make a note of it, and very dutifully, as soon as the call is over, I'm not doing anything much, so I just simply spend a little bit of time, and I go and collect all those documents, whatever I can, and I start to send to him. I'm sending all the documents. Literally the list is pretty much complete of whatever he's asked for: mother's name, father's name, their dates of birth, their this, my whatever numbers, Aadhaar card number, and all of that stuff, the usual information that one would expect to be putting out at the time of a life insurance policy. Okay, so I give him all the information, and then at this point in time, I go on to the I'm sitting, and suddenly this thought comes saying, I should check whether that policy exists in the system of that bank, because nowadays everything is pretty much, on the computers. So let me go and check the policy number if it exists. So I go and check, and it doesn't match up to my name. As a matter of fact, it says another name on that policy. I'm a little bit confused, but I'm still, trying to figure things out. And then when I given my number, it says this number is not registered with us. Now that set me thinking, because in those days I only used to have one phone number and I didn't have another number. And so if there is a phone number on that policy, it should be the one that I have. So I'm looking at it, and suddenly my eyes, and this is how beautifully we shift. My eyes are taken to this one part on the insurance policy website, and it says, be aware of spurious calls. Be aware of spurious calls. And my eyes are taken over there. And now I look at that and I suddenly feel, a little fearful. And I feel fearful saying, oh my God, I just gave all the information to this person. This bank account also that I've given, it's the one where my husband normally puts money in, and he takes, he wants to invest something. That's where the money goes. And will I, because of my stupidity, because of my carelessness, have I done something which will cause him to be, to suffer? As these thoughts come, now what am I doing? How beautifully I was sitting, completely thoughtless, emotionless. And then once something happened, what was that something? It was that line on the website that said, be careful of spurious calls. And then what did that line do to me? It shifted my frequency. By now, I still hadn't caught it. So I'm thinking, oh my God, what should I do? What should my next step be? Should I delete all those documents that I've sent to him? What should I do? And then this is the beautiful part of being in awareness, that as soon as you are, taken on another path, and very quickly you can center yourself back. And so in this place, I was, I spent about 5 minutes worrying about what would happen, and was the account going to be compromised, and was the bank account going to be okay, and I've given all the details, blah blah blah. I spent about 5 minutes on that, and then immediately I centered myself back, and I said, okay, Meena, what is the frequency that you are now operating from? Obviously fear. And not just that fear has given, a lot of judgments towards myself. I called myself like, oh my God, this was my stupidity. Okay, let me. So as I now contemplate, but now I've got it. I've got the frequency that I'm in, and actions don't matter. So till this time, I was contemplating, what should I do? Shall I do this? Shall I do that? But as soon as I caught that my frequency was fear, Everything that I tell you people to do, I follow very religiously myself. And so no action to be taken till you bring yourself to equanimity. If you lose this, so what? If this money goes away, so what? And all of that. Now, I wasn't feeling the so what right now. So I had to bring myself to that place. So immediately, whatever belongs to me, does this money, if this money has to go away, does it really belong to me? No. The only thing that belongs to me is what I came with. I came bare naked. So obviously nothing belongs to me except for my emotional energy field. So with that in mind, I was able to quickly look at my attachment, look at also my lack that had just appeared, and of course, look at the judgments and the fears that had just clouded me for those last 5 minutes. I began working on myself. And of course, the first thing that I do when I begin to work on myself is to thank the actor who has shown what energies I'm tuned into today. So I immediately thanked that person who had called me. And then I was able to see that that person is simply a part of me. He's just simply a part of me. That one, he's that part of me who wants to play today in mistrust. And as soon as I was able to look at my own mistrust and come in oneness with that person, and then all of that angst that I was feeling towards him, that melted away. What if he takes all the money that I have? Well, here's the beautiful part. I made so much money. I already gave it away. And as I gave all of that away, it brought me joy. It brought me joy. I had given it. So it brought me more joy. But if the money has to go away, it has so many different ways of going. Am I going to stay in joy is my only choice. So when I'm told, okay, give this away, give that away, give your jewelry away, give your bank account away, give your house away, I don't just give it away. I first bring myself to equanimity, I bring myself to joy, and then I give it away so that this giving can produce for me more joy. Can I do that if somebody takes that money without my permission? Well, what is my permission required for? That's my limitation, that somebody outside is doing something to me that I haven't given permission for. How beautiful it is, because somebody outside cannot do anything to me that my energy hasn't given permission for. Nothing can happen to me that my energy already hasn't decided in that design form. Everything that is held in my energy, that only that can play out. And so I'm the script writer, I'm the director of this movie. I must have given the permission, and that's why this would happen. If I have given the permission and this is happening, now my only choice is, am I going to sit and sulk over it, or am I going to feel at peace about it? I might choose to sulk over it for a few moments, but I do know that I come back to peace very quickly the minute I come into oneness with that person and I come into real gratitude for that person. So I was done giving gratitude to them for giving me that call, for making me tune into this frequency of mine so that I could work on it and release it yet again. I might have worked on this frequency, but frequencies are like that. We can tune into anything at any point in time. Oh, again, I'm tuning into mistrust. How much more work remains? Well, if you are thinking like that, then you haven't accepted trust and mistrust as both as parts of you. So the job is to accept that that person outside doesn't exist. They're simply a part of you. You are the whole. You are the Shiva. There is nobody outside of you. And so as I trusted that person outside of me, and I said, okay, whether the hand with the money sits here or the hand with the money sits there, both of them are me. So whether this money goes or this money stays, I, the Shiva, am in equanimity. From being in equanimity, then I was able to see that I no longer minded if, I gave him that money and he took that money away, or maybe I give him some money and he's able to take more money away from my bank account. I was able to look at money as simply a tool for creating my emotion. And I said, okay, done. No longer can money create emotion for me. I've looked at it into it again today. And so now, as soon as I become the observer, then outside does not have any impact on my emotion or the place where I choose to sit. I choose to sit in blankness most of the times. So, all right. So, as this happened, now the next step, now what should I do? That person wrote to me again saying, I'm still waiting for these two other documents for you to send to me. And I looked at that, and now I'm in equanimity. It doesn't matter to me whether I have to send the documents or I don't have to send the documents. And so when I'm in equanimity, I have a very easy way to make my decisions, which is what I do is toss the coin and tell money to make the decision for me. So I toss the coin and money says, don't send him the documents. So I say, okay. Am I feeling like, thank God I got saved? No, actually, I'm not feeling that at all because I already brought myself to equanimity. There is nothing, no one I need saving from. So that is the place of equanimity where you no longer need to be saved from anybody because the whole universe belongs to you. You are the universe. There is nothing outside of you. You are everything and everyone. In that place, who are you going to run away from? Who are you going to hide from? Who do you need protection from? No one at all. So in this place, as I sat, I I then asked, I then asked money, okay, you now take over because a fellow called, said, why aren't you sending me your documents? And the fellow called. And I said, okay, money, let's have a conversation with him. Before I even picked up the call, I checked in to see, am I coming in from separation or am I coming from oneness? Am I coming from thankfulness or am I coming from this place, oh God, I have to talk to this guy, he's a cheat. So I was coming from the place of oneness. There is nobody outside. And from that place, I spoke to him and he said, you haven't sent me the documents. I need these documents early, I need these documents urgently. And I said, I went onto the system and I checked, and the bank system is not showing me this particular policy in my name. So why don't we do this? That I'm going to the bank in a few days. I'll go to the bank in a few days. I'll check for the policy over there. If the policy exists, I will send you the documents. There was no reason for me to lie that, okay, I don't want you to call me. There was no reason for me to block that number. There was no reason for me to do anything because I was in oneness. And whatever came out of my mouth was just in a lot of love, saying that, okay, this is the life, this is your choice right now, whatever it is. If this is indeed the truth, and this, again, as I say, nothing is the truth and nothing is the lie. Everything is where we sit in that moment. So if this is indeed, the truth, and if money goes, go check the policy and then go do this, I'll do that. Otherwise, I won't even bother to go to the bank to check on my policy. That 2 lakhs that might have belonged to me, that might come to me, that might not come to me. Well, the universe is constantly playing in my favor. When I need 2 lakhs, when I need 2 crores, when I need 20 crores, whatever it is that I need will come to me with ease and grace. Apart from that, if something comes to me, great. Just by coming in, the movement of money in, the movement of money out, it doesn't need to create emotions in us. If it does, we can take a look, not at the money, but at the emotions. What do we do right now? We take a look at the money and then we create more emotions. And then even this, a security breach. And many of you work in these fields, right? You work in IT, and in IT, you have to have 5 different firewalls and you have to have systems which are completely hack proof. Will you stop doing all of that? The point again and again that I make is not that you will stop doing all of that, but each time you go sell a system, you go sell your foolproof system to somebody, if that's what you're creating for work, and you go and sell that foolproof system to somebody, are you sitting in fear? Are you sitting in fear? Are you believing more and more the story that you are telling to other? The story that you are telling to the other is they need to be fearful. Should you stop telling that story? It doesn't matter what story you tell to people. It only matters what story you tell to yourself. So if the story that you tell to yourself is of ease and grace, then no matter what you say outside, for you, that will play out. If that person needs to resonate with your fear, they will do so. If that's their journey, they will do so. You would have simply played a part in their story. But apart from playing a part in their story, as you are meeting with people, the more you are resonating with ease and grace, the more they will receive that from you and therefore reflect back at you. So it's all about, well, if there's nobody else who exists in this universe, then it's all about making my own life easy and graceful, isn't it? If that's the way it works, then the more I sit in ease and grace, I create more of that. That's how the energies play out. It's that simple a game there is. When you go and when you're working on these systems, be aware that every time you hear the word password breach, security breach, what kind of emotions are getting created in you? Somebody is going to take something away from you. Somebody undeserving is going to get what you have created with so much effort. Well, you could have made the effort and it would have come to naught, to nothing. And then why that? It came to you because it just had to play a role in your life. A house, many of us are homeowners, and in the US, there's a very cute little term called homeowners. And so homeowners or homeowners, because once you have the house, you're constantly mourning, oh gosh, I got to do this for the house and I got to do that for the house. So the same house that you were looking forward to creating your own, and it would be this, the place of security for you, it doesn't necessarily become the place of security for you. It can become anything. And on any given day, it'll become the cause of irritation for you. On any given day, it'll become the cause of fears, or on any given day, become the cause for joy. The house outside is not the cause for all of these. Now we understand that any of the frequencies that we hold are going to play randomly when we are in unawareness. And as we go through unawareness, if we can just pinpoint what we are experiencing, what am I feeling when this word is thrown up at me? What am I experiencing when somebody says money was stolen from my account? Many of us have already gone through something like that, identity theft, or some monetary theft or something, not necessarily related to cyber, but even otherwise, just related to life in general. And there comes this other story about when people can steal something that belongs to you. It's an old story. I've shared bits and pieces of it. And so the whole story goes again. So I used to have a person working for me, and she'd been working for me for a very long time. And, she was all over the house and everything. I never used to bother where I keep my things. And I had a very, very nice pair of diamond earrings. One day I'm looking for them, and my journey towards awareness had started. I'm looking for them, can't find them. As I can't find them, firstly, it didn't strike me that I should have a conversation. But when I did have the conversation about, a day later, because I'm looking for the earrings and can't find them, and I was told, oh, they've gone to their new home. What do you mean by they've gone to their new home? Yeah, they've gone to their new home. And so I said, okay, if they've gone to another home and I haven't taken them, so it obviously means that somebody who's working in the house has taken them. I used to have two people who used to work for me. So I asked, okay, which one has taken? Silence. The words wouldn't come out. I wouldn't get to know which one has taken. Why? Because I would be working from that place saying, okay, that person has taken, that person is a thief. I need to throw them out of the job. So the answer didn't come. Instead, guidance came saying, release the attachment to those earrings. And I was like, no, you could have given me another earrings. Why these? These were my favorite ones. Release the attachment to those earrings. I had to work on myself, and so I did. And then it was, okay, bless the earrings, that wherever they are now, may they be blessed, so that whoever they are with, those people get joy out of them. and very heavy hearted in the beginning, but then I was able to release that and I gave my blessings to the earrings and wherever they are. And the guidance came to me saying, they went away, but you are in abundance. If you say today that you want those earrings, we'll create those or something even prettier than those, and we will bring them to you. So do you want them? But by now, I'd worked on my attachment. And so I didn't want them anymore. I was like, no, it's okay. I enjoyed them. But now I'm done with them. There'll be other earrings. Okay. And so I let those earrings go with ease and grace. And then I was also able to let go of this, that somebody took something from me without asking me. And why? Because it said to me that it wasn't yours. It was given for you to enjoy for some time. And that's why now they've gone to their new home. Somebody else will be enjoying them. They didn't belong to you. They're gone there now. They are now belonging to that person. I was able to understand that. But once I was brought into equanimity, that's when the name of the person was revealed. That, okay, this is the actor they took. But by now I'd done so much work on myself. I was like, okay, you only tell me what do I need to do about that person. So I said, do I go and tell them now that I know? They said, no, no, no. What is there to know? There is nothing to know. The earrings have gone to the new home. That's all there is to know. But what do I need to do this to this person? Well, increase their salary. It's like, what? They just stole something from me. And so I should increase their salary? Yes. The guidance came saying increase their salary because you sit in a place of abundance. You know that whatever you need will come to you easily and gracefully. They don't know that. They have to do the hard work of stealing. They have to find the way, find the path, find the day, when you are not looking, make so many efforts, and then they steal. So they go through all the struggle and then all the guilt. So may they also find their path of ease and grace easily. You bless them with more money so that their path can be a little bit easier for now. Okay, then. So that's exactly what I did. I increased their salary because they stole my earrings. Did I get what I wanted after that? I didn't want anything after that. The thing was done. There were so many days after that. I would be in my bathroom, and then I'd be having a shower, and I would be told, okay, outside, she's taking money from your wallet, and I'd be like, okay, so should I run out to the bedroom because I'm in the shower, and should I run out to the bedroom so that I can catch her red-handed? And then the answer would always be to me, no, no, we are telling you so that you know that you have to take extra time in the bathroom so that she can do whatever she wants to do with ease and grace. That's how the energy works. The person stole something from me. Did I get short of anything at all? I didn't. I created my own new reality, my own new truths of ease and grace as I let go of everything that was with ease and grace. So when we look at all the struggles that we have to go to arrange for 15 passwords, and each of them need to be different and all of that, take a look. Are you actually struggling, or are you still simply just flowing? You can create those. If you want to access something and the need of the hour is that you need to create passwords, then you create the passwords. You do whatever needs to be done at the physical plane, at the physical level. But through all of this, are your fingers on your emotion and saying, okay, am I feeling scared? This is an easy password. When the computer says, oh, this is the password strength is weak, do you actually run and change it to something that is strong because you want to? Or otherwise, is the system prompting you for it? So take a look, because many systems allow for weak passwords, but we won't keep the weak passwords because we are afraid. So take a look. Are you acting from fear? Are you acting from lack? If you are, it's become your truth. It's your truth in the now. You can change it. It's very easy to change. Just as easily, the story was told of last week just to show you when people say, okay, I sit in enlightened space and I probably don't do anything at all. Well, it couldn't be wronger because I'm constantly observing every thought of mine. It's become, not the second nature, but it's become the first nature. The first nature is first to observe where I'm coming from and then to take any action. In the meanwhile, if there is a surge of an emotion, I let that emotion be expressed. There is no rejection of anything at all. If there's a surge of anger, if there's a surge of resentment, I simply let it be expressed because as it is being expressed, I'm still watching as an observer what's coming out, what's the story that's playing out, where is all of this going. In all of this, is my finger this side or am I putting the finger outside on someone? That's all that needs to be seen. Everything can become a tool for fear. In one of the stories, again, and that's how easy it is. People say, no, this is the phone with my with all of these monetary applications, Google Pay or GPay and Paytm and whatever. So I have a phone which has all my monetary applications. The password on them, all of them is the same. Not just that, when we were in Goa in 2020 and I had to make a lot of payments to all the vendors. We were arranging for this money frequency festival. And every 2 minutes, somebody was coming saying, okay, we need you to make this payment. We need you to make this payment. For me, the path of ease and grace, I picked up my phone and I gave it to them. And I told my password to the 5 or 10 people around. And I said, this is my phone. This is my password. Anybody wants to make any payment, go ahead, do it. Just keep my phone charged and bring it back to me at the end of the day when everything is done. For a couple of days, it didn't even come back and it didn't cause me any sweat at all. It was just this, I didn't have the fear of losing money. In that moment, I was already in the money frequencies. So I didn't have that fear. Today, or rather last week, when something was shown to me, I could see that the fear was there, which means I must have just tuned into that frequency again. So if you've tuned in, easy peasy, we can tune out again. The whole point being that we will keep tuning into all kinds of frequencies. Even when I say release, the first step of that release is accept. Just simply accept the frequency, accept your part, the part of you that resonates with that frequency. So you accept and then you move forward. Only then can you release. And what is the release? The release is simply saying, okay, this is a frequency, but then I'm going to choose another. That's all that there is. So even with all of these news that you hear of all kinds of cyber crimes and things happening to you or things happening to your friends, simply take a look at the story and extract from it the feeling that you are sitting in. I told you, I have nothing new to say ever. So with the same lines over and over again, I'm done with my talk. And as a matter of fact, today, I have suddenly got some guests over, not suddenly, but I have some guests over from Australia. So to honor them, I'm not going to do the meditation today for the English webinar. So if anybody has any questions, anybody wants to say anything, oh, the chat today is completely empty. How beautiful is that? So nobody has any questions whatsoever. And I have nothing new to say, but hopefully you would have also understood from this conversation as to how to process your emotions, even when it comes to work, it comes to computers, it comes to your telephones, it comes to anything where you are guarding something with your life because it will be taken away from you. If you make that your truth, only then can that happen. Otherwise, you can simply sit in the joy of knowing that something can go and something can come, but I am taken care of. Anything can go, anything can come. I am taken care of. Okay, people, on those lines, lots and lots of love to all of you. Bye, everyone. See you next
Thank
week.
you.
Thank you. Bye.